ball.
Happy to beat everybody associated with the gym.
To win games, you have to win the game.
If we keeping a book right now, we ass.
Gonna go on forever! Football. This season's been unbelievably drunk. I honestly believe it needs serious medical attention with how volatile it is. Not in the who, but the how. Nothing makes sense. I'm about to put myself in a straitjacket. But not on the resale market for tickets. SeatGeek, the sponsor of this video, I enjoy a logical, insane experience. Thanks to their handy-dandy app, I can sort all available tickets to any game from red to green on a 1 to 10 scale. It offers me a view from where I'll be sitting, too. Also, all tickets are verified for authenticity. And remember to use the code TREE to save $20 off your first order. There aren't many right now, but every chance I get, I try to see live sports. My first destination's always SeatGeek. It makes a hell of a lot more sense than football this year. Or maybe I'm drunk. It honestly would track with a lot of my rambling. A home game for the Niners at SoFi. You know that shenanigans will be afoot. I'm gonna be honest here, I wasn't paying much attention to start. I'm watching postseason baseball and had it on in the background. Lo and behold, as time unfolded, we got a pretty fun game in this one. NFC West matchups tend to fall into this sort of category. Most of the time. In an alternate timeline, Kyle Shanahan gets his wish and the Niners draft Mac Jones. We laugh hysterically at the pick, and he then becomes the franchise QB they've needed. His rehab after years of Belichick abuse is progressing well. Mac saw a dead body today. It was the Rams secondary. Like seriously, the 49ers have no one to catch passes. They're down to Kendrick Bourne as their number one. Kendrick Bourne! It was like it was 2020 all over again. Hell, San Fran's D linemen are dropping one by one. The fact that they're not only alive, but still in fighting form against a sturdy group like the Rams is impressive. If you're Sean McVay, do you just admit you're against the undead? Even with a relatively healthy group, they're having trouble keeping up. Yet even in time, the Rams will overcome both their adversary and their domineering fender. LA is so close to freedom. The glory of victory is in sight. Just get the ball over the goal line and you'll kill this zombie. Of course. At this point, we're just sitting waiting for the inevitable kick of destiny into overtime after a Niners 3-and-out. My friends, it is clockwork. We are going to overtime and Al Michaels loses even more of his will to live. The rest of us will enjoy this, though. All the way down to the Niner field goal. Awfully nice to have someone that can kick again. LA responds in the best way they can. Attack. Do it quickly, do it precisely. Even when the odds are against you, balls out. The Rams may be short of the sticks, but on fourth down, fuck them ties.
On the ground, does he make it? It doesn't look like it did. Now the ball is out. When did it come out? The 49ers stink. They have stopped him short. They're already on the field. They're already celebrating.
Look, I get why you went for it there. It's 1 yard and the offense should convert, but running halfback dive with Kyron? It's not like you had Stafford's arm available or anything. Shit, Puka made a man retire with his dominance last week and you don't use him? Bullshit like that, you deserve to lose. The Niners are being held together by wood glue and string, yet are 4-1. It's like Odysseus trying to get back to Greece. These men are being picked apart left and right. So who's gonna be the Cyclops? We complain about international games, yet we willingly wake up to watch Carson Wentz and Dylan Gabriel attempt football. Who's the real sucker here? The NFL's gonna get their 16 international games at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time aired on Netflix. It will be endless plotting football with both teams beaten to hell and back. And we will watch. We don't know why we watch, but at least we see Cleveland move the ball in some respect. Gabriel isn't much, but he's better than Flacco. That's more than enough for a debut. Their defense is also making Carson Wentz's life a living hell in the pocket. And the Browns cling on to a 3-point lead. Yet Cleveland happens. Minnesota's begging them to take the game. They want Dylan Gabriel to do something. Hell, the drunk hammer wire Steve Nashing the shit for them in the end, but the offense pays tribute to Joe Flacco by doing fuck all with it. 1 first down and 4 drives. The Browns be the Browns. And you know that shenanigans will be afoot at Tottenham. Cleveland's defense finally breaks after a valiant stand to the might of Carson Wentz. Really? Carson Wentz? He couldn't have been anyone good?
Wentz, 2nd and 5. Anderson! He's got it! Touchdown!
Carson Wentz throwing big-time passes in 2025. As impressive a comeback as Jordan Addison making that catch after sitting out the entire first quarter for disciplinary reasons. London games can get quite ugly, and this one was no exception, but Minnesota will more than take it. A win's a win. And what the hell was that for a final play, Cleveland? Good Christ! Nobody should be surprised by this. Yes, it's Indy. Yes, the recent stereotypes are still fresh, but Las Vegas is an afterthought. A complete joke of a franchise led by a complete joke of an owner. What is Tom Brady doing to collude with his team? Sure as shit isn't showing on the field. Maybe revenge for taking out the Colts kicker early on. Your punter will fall to their sword in revenge. Geno Smith is absolute trash. The defense is getting picked apart minus Crosby, and Ashton Jeanty's about to become Michael Myers in real life to get some goddamn blocking. Clown show. Absolute clown show. Anything the Colts did turned to gold. Be it from Jonathan Taylor touchdowns to Indiana Jones punching the Raiders of the Lost franchise. This game wasn't anything novel. It's been building for years on end ever since they announced the move from Oakland. Indy merely benefited from the disparity. The Raiders have become a cheap imitation of what they once were. A gimmick trotted out as nostalgia bait for merchandise sales. Past prime residency on the strip at bloated prices. Congratulations, you've become P.F. Chang's. The Colts just smack them around non-stop. At least P.F. Chang's can serve up decent food. I was so tempted to make this game a tank vote. You have no idea how badly I wanted to throw the Cowboys into that conversation, but I thought to myself, that's insulting to Dak. He did an impeccable job last week. He's keeping up that same form here, too. That ignominy is for the Jets. Their entire fandom has to be experiencing life in Andersonville. Anarchy, poverty, and disease run rampant in the organization. Rot and blight plague everything it touches. Gashed a bit by Dak, Javonte Williams, and Ryan Flournoy. Sounds like a name I just made up. The Jets will do that to a man. It was a thorough ass beating that made the Floose Goose look like a competent unit for 3 quarters. It's time to say it. Aaron Glenn's becoming the Antonio Pierce of this coaching cycle in real time. What the fuck is he even doing over there? What did the good week of practice get you now? Why is Steve Wilkes dialing up collect calls in 2025? They don't have a single takeaway with all that talent? Blown the hell out yet again with double-digit penalties? But I'm probably being too rash. It takes a while to build a culture. Hey, you guys, Justin Fields and Breece Hall padded their stats in garbage time. The time's truly turning for the Jets. You'll see. Yeah, I'll trust them when they don't get crushed by Cowboys. Tonight, on another painful episode of That's So Raven, $160 million in the infirmary. That's the tale of Baltimore and a franchise decaying like the Inner Harbor. The lost Lamar replaced by the underpowered engine of a Mini Cooper. And the anal rush they call a game will commence with horror that even Poe couldn't conjure. Falling victim to one of the most maladjusted offenses in football. With a god-awful offensive line and a quarterback lamenting his lost athleticism. At 23, the vaunted Ravens defense were destroyed except at the position where they most need a replacement. Zach Orr is a butcher, slaughtering the hopes and dreams of Ravens fans as bad as King Henry rotting in the run game. The rest of the offense, not much better. It was a decisive thrashing by Houston. The first time they were able to flex with authority for all 60 minutes. The only response from Baltimore, wet day. 1-4 with no end in sight. The only ones relishing this are Steelers fans. God forbid you hand them the division. What a disaster. Now this is art worthy of the Louvre. 2 terrible football teams coming together to bring about an intriguing match for the handful of people watching with morbid interest. Both with serious questions to answer and doubters to prove wrong. That won't happen today, but it's about as must-win as it gets. For New York, they're merely following up that shocking upset of the Bolts. Who needs Malik Neighbors when you have Theo Johnson? And Jackson Dart, of course, guiding the G-Men to a 14-point surge. That's an absolute rarity for them. Maybe they have turned a new leaf for God, Lord! I've heard of self-destructions before, but this is some impressive stuff. Murphy's Law distilled into a little over 30 minutes. Whatever could go wrong did. How many offensive fuck-ups will the Giants make in a given drive? Tried to count, but I kept fumbling it like New York did. Even Cam Scadaboo's making careless errors with the football offering New Orleans life. Inspired by Cafe Du Monde, the Giants are baking only the best apple turnovers in the city. The Saints aren't a good team, but they'll take advantage of an opponent doing everything to hand them a win. They try. And that's more than enough to get Kellen Moore his first win as head coach. He got his first win earlier than Aaron Glenn. That's honestly hilarious. Sometimes it's the little things that warm me on the inside. 2 bad football teams at a crossroads. It's not going well for either group, and it only gets worse for Carolina. Rice Bros, I think it's time to wrap it up. Young is fucking terrible. Where the fuck was the progress from last year? This is a straight up disaster. Take last week's slaughter against the Patriots and double it. Miami's cruising again. Who needs Tyreek? The Dolphins can beat the crap out of people without him. A quick 17-0 lead proves it. Carolina's so bad this year that they caused a podcast to end production. Do you know how bad you have to be to get a fan podcast to cease? It certainly shows even with Miami's offense going flat. They can't run the ball today. Derek Brown and company have silenced them to 19 yards on 14 carries. Are you gonna do much of anything, Miami? Carolina's whittled the lead down to 4 and Bryce Young's finally solved the Dolphins' D. You just have to match shapes. Or just give the ball to Rico Dowdle. I still don't get why Dallas let him go. Dude had over 200 yards rushing and Miami's sieve of a D can't stop him at all. It doesn't matter if Miami managed to find their passing attack again. A slow and painful death is all they can experience. Falling victim to a cowboy cast-off and a Make-A-Wish QB. This might be more pathetic than the Patriots' loss a few weeks ago.
Bryce Young got his man! Touchdown! Mitchell Evans!
I'll take this call over Al Michaels slurring after a flask of whiskey any day. Carolina's got the lead, but Miami's offense should get back to form, right? No? Tua got sacked and they're punting? Really? It is 4th and 17, but you're seriously gonna trust the Dolphins defense? The Dolphins defense! My God. This is your offensive wunderkind, Miami? All I'm seeing is a dude trying to get fired. Carolina comes back, but is it really progression? Who the fuck knows at this point? God, the Dolphins suck. Philly, when are you gonna learn to play a full 60 minutes? Seriously, this shit's getting completely aggravating for anyone to watch. It's the same shit as last week. The first half, domination. The Broncos' offensive attack suffocated at every angle. Squeezed of life and sucked dry in front of a hungry crowd at the lake. The offense is iffy, but doing just enough to make things happen and stretch out a 14-point lead. You should know it's never that easy for the 2025 Eagles. They have to make this as excruciatingly frustrating as humanly possible. And the culprit is what it's always been. The offense. Last week they ran the ball way too much in the second half, which results in their top wide receivers rightfully pitching up a storm for Kevin Patullo's hackery. So now they overcompensate by trying to repeatedly go over the top and fail every time. Their attack died yet again. 3 straight 3-and-outs? With this talent? Why the fuck did Sirianni promote his lackey to this position again? Philly should be so much better than this. Yet they consistently fail to be consistent whatsoever. And guess what happened? Fangio's defense gets exhausted and begins to break down. 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. Who cares when there are careless mistakes to make? Endless yardage to give away. Endless failing offense due to sheer ineptitude. Have the Broncos pinned deep on a 3rd and long, give up a 34-yard pass. Don't even bother to try and tackle Evan Engram before the end zone. He's gone. Have Nick stop for intentional grounding? Wait, that's not intentional grounding? There's no receiver within a mile. Okay then, have the Broncos stopped on 3rd down? Zach Bond is a fucking idiot. Field goal delivered and the Eagles suffer a humiliating loss in a game that shouldn't have been close. Well done, Philly. You played with fire for too damn long and you finally got burned. The ref ball was heinous, but it's a cop-out for this performance. Denver has a statement win by simply waiting for Philly to walk into their own traps. Will this humiliating loss finally get the Eagles to snap out of their funk? Of course not. They'll keep pissing us all off by failing to live up to their potential. It's the unnecessary shit that drives me off a fucking wall, man. It's one of the hottest teams in football against a decaying carcass. What'd you think was gonna happen? It wasn't even funny to watch, it's just sad. Like watching a leopard toy with a baby gazelle before enjoying its lunch. This was annihilation, as every Bengals game has been after week 2. Jake Browning was a great story in 2023, but in current year, he can't throw a football. I should correct myself. He can throw it to the other team. As I said last week, this is a hell of a lot more than no Burrow. This whole franchise is riding down the Escaloosa. The Lions didn't have to reach anything close to full power. A half-speed performance was more than enough to break away for 3 quarters. They felt so bad they allowed Cincy to put up a few points in garbage time. What's about Jamar Chase in fantasy? Or perhaps tried for the backdoor cover? Yeah, I'm overthinking things. Bengals suck, let's move on. Sir, the mission's in danger of complete failure. The Cincinnati Bengals are spiraling without a real QB. And nearly everything else. But Jake Browning's terrible. Jamar and T are hungry. We need a new leader. Alright, so who the hell's available for the taking here? Joe Flacco! Joe Flacco! Joe Flacco! He was a lead boss. He's totally not a desperation placeholder. The Bengals are coming back. Skyline chili for everyone. Man, if you thought he was a statue behind that sluggish Browns O-line this year, oh baby, you've got another thing coming in Cincy. This team might literally drive him back to the couch. I'll give him 2 games until he dies in the pocket. Both these teams need a get-right game in the worst way. The Chargers need it after derping against the G-Men in Washington. At least Jaden Daniels is back in the saddle, even if he's not at peak form. Honestly, that's all they needed. The commies clamped down their ailing adversary and never looked back. Liquid LA's continuing to fall to the injury bug. So about that offensive line the Chargers have, it's getting even more battered. And Justin Herbert can do nothing behind it. Or Quentin Johnston suddenly losing his hands again. 10 penalties for a Harbaugh team? Kind of abnormal, isn't it? That's what happens when you're forced to play Austin Deculus and Trey Pipkins. SoFi, you will bow down to a rookie sensation, and his name is Bill Krosky Merritt. Then again, it is SoFi, so it's all but a glorified home game for the commies. That breakout, along with a smothering defensive stand, brings Washington back above 500. This didn't even feel close. The Chargers could simply do nothing for long stretches of time. When the only person that can run effectively is Justin Herbert after dropbacks, that ain't good. At least next week's their own get-right game in the dying Dolphins. You aren't gonna fuck that one up, are ya? The 50th anniversary game. The stench of failure from these uniforms washed away in a sea of old foes from the 2018 draft class. Baker versus Darnold. Imagine telling someone 3 years ago that this would be an elite QB matchup. Crazy times indeed, especially with the Buccaneers low-key destroyed by injuries, particularly on the O-line and secondary. Never fear, but what we got was probably the most exciting matchup of the weekly slate. If you follow hockey, this was Probert versus McSorley in '94. An all-out brawl with both competitors throwing caution into the wind, hurling non-stop haymakers at each other. Neither one flinching despite the countless blows and blood spewed. They may stumble but never fall, besting a defense wrecked by injuries and a defense wrecked by Reek Woolen. He's injured as well. Never mind. It's crunch time now. Darnold made his magic happen for the 4th time to the end zone for a Seattle lead, but Tampa's time to shine is here. Baker loves nothing more than making his haters eat shit. To prove them wrong, he'll reach down and hurl his fastball.
The back is White. Mayfield to the air. Worth the block. Buying time into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Touchdown!
Sterling Shepard? The dude who nearly retired due to rotting on the derp catching big passes? What year is it? I was supposed to be talking about Emeka Egbuka's breakout game, but then this curveball comes out of nowhere. Mike Evans can rest up with results like these. But there's a problem. Too much time on the clock for Sam. Darnold has his chance to create new narratives.
2nd down and 1. Here's the pressure. Winfield had it. He throws an interception. It's picked off.
McDonald's reopened at the worst possible time. Oh, Sam. I get there was pressure and you've had a hell of a game, but dude, Levante David's a hell of a linebacker. So the Bucs swashbuckle their way a few yards to get a better kick from McLaughlin. They won't miss.
Got it! And Tampa Bay will win it on a walk-off 39-yard field goal.
Told you he wouldn't. Can we give Tampa their stripes for a second? They're about as injured as San Francisco in some aspects. Todd Bowles holds them down at every opportunity, yet they sneak past their opponents to be 4-1. And they do it with power and not luck. It's unsustainable as hell, but I'm definitely inspired by it. How many one-score games can you win? Then again, Mike Tomlin exists, so perhaps shit just happens. There are 2 bye weeks for most teams in the NFL. The week where a team doesn't play and the week where a team plays the Titans. Call them trash is insulting to the refuse in any given bin. They're lower than such a state. Brian Callahan is legitimately the worst head coach in the NFL and one of the worst this decade. He offers nothing, he builds nothing, and he chucks others under the bus for his own ineptitude. Same shit I've said in weeks past. The longer he stays employed, the more damning it is. Before you blink, it's 21-6 Cards, and I'm writing another repetitive segment saying lol Titans ad nauseum. Arizona just has to cruise to a win. Even a fool couldn't lose. It's a bit fucked up to witness from a pro offense, but we'll ignore that because Tennessee's super ass. Finish him, Cardinals. I have shit to do.
First down.
Amari DiMercado. Amari DiMerfucking-cado. We just had this happen last week, dude. Your coaches should have been shredding you and warning you to not do this, and you commit the ultimate sin. You drop the fucking ball while jogging into the end zone and lose possession before crossing the plane. I swear I'm taking crazy pills or something. This has to be shit that you're taught in Pop Warner. You get cut in fucking high school for this shit. How the fuck is it possible for someone to not hold on to the fucking ball for 2 weeks in a goddamn row? What is it going to take for every 50 IQ numbskull that holds on to a fucking football and makes a joy before reaching the fucking end zone? I swear to fucking God! Cut off his hands. I'm dead serious. With that horseshit, he doesn't deserve the luxury of having them. Of course, the Titans take this momentum and march down the field for an easy touchdown. You had an easy win in the palm of your hand and immediately piss down your leg and break it into 1,000 pieces. Great. Well, the offense can 3-0. Okay, well, the Titans aren't doing that shit again. As they dissect this pathetic defense down the field. But it's Cam Ward and a terrible Tennessee offense. They'll fuck it.
Clock running inside of 5 minutes. Ward goes through his progressions. Everyone covered, slings it back, it's deflected, and picked! Taylor Davidson, and then the football came out! Who recovers? Tennessee for the touchdown!
What? What the fuck? Now, this is a realistic simulation of NFL football. Marlon McCree is somehow vindicated. I don't know how, but he is. Now it's panic time. As Drew Petzing draws up 3 straight running plays for nothing. Oh god, the Titans are gonna win. How the fuck are they going to win? Did Arizona seriously learn nothing from almost blowing it to Carolina? They're being torched by a QB that only had 50 fucking yards in the first half! Why do the Cardinals exist? Seriously, I've been asking this question for 30 fucking years.
The kick from Slade is good!
My God! The Titans won! As God is my witness, I cannot even fathom what I've seen with my very own eyes. The Cardinals should commit seppuku in midfield. They have no honor. You couldn't conjure a more mind-boggling, numbingly retarded way to lose a football game than this. Forgive me, Matt Eberflus. I didn't know the depth the team was going to fail. This isn't the kind of loss that derails seasons. It derails entire regimes. Any culture that was built is destroyed. Any mantras ring hollow. Core philosophies abandoned on a whim. The only explanation I have for this is that the Cardinals put money on the Titans' money line. There's nothing else that makes sense. The NFL should immediately investigate Arizona for these allegations. Even if they find nothing sanctioned and fine them a fortune anyway. Cutting DiMercado for his gross incompetence isn't enough. Firing people for this failure isn't enough. You have to imitate Stalin. Purge everything. Gather every employee on the field of play, make them fight to the death, and then mercy kill the winner. Bury them all in a mass grave, burn the bodies, and seal the ashes in concrete. Then you drag out that failed son of an owner and publicly decapitate him via guillotine. After the blood dries, you place his severed head on a pike outside the stadium as a warning to all those that dare to imitate this ineptitude on full display. A few days later, nuke the city from orbit. It's the only way to make sure the stench is gone. Nuclear winter is far more desirable than Cardinals football. The silence won't humiliate you further. Tennessee also loses by having Brian Callahan employed for another week. How the fuck do you let him win by doing nothing?
If you get the opportunity, you should kill yourself.
Buffalo's been skating by thanks to the talents of Josh Allen and James Cook for a good bit. They are 4-0, but it's incredibly deceiving. Just look at all of their injuries on defense and you'll understand. And those flaws and hollow shells were exposed big time against the Patriots. Stephon Diggs had what we call a revenge game. He couldn't catch when it mattered as a Bill, but against them, he's back to prime form. Drake May's more than matching Josh Allen, he's besting him at his own game. He's realizing his potential more and more every week. Honestly, if he had running backs that aren't Ramondre with hands sprayed with Pam, he could legitimately be one of the best in the AFC someday. The rest of the AFC East groans at the thought. Buffalo had their chances, but they were sloppy and put forth a subpar game. Josh Allen had an off day. He couldn't counter the Patriots' schemes. He was hero balling in the style of Carson Wentz, and it backfired nearly every time. James Cook was neutralized. In low-scoring grinds, the Bills are too on-demand defensively right now to match their opponents. It may be tied late, but they can't stop New England on their final drive. And now the Patriots are in prime position to relive the old glory, making the Bills their property.
NFL kick from 52 for the lead. Right down the middle,
And Dvorak Gales nailed it. New England has their statement win. Drake May's breakout performance showcasing his development to the world. Just don't expect Bill Belichick to allow his alma mater to acknowledge it. I'm not surprised by this for the Bills. It's honestly the same shit as Philly. Buffalo played with fire for far too long and got burned. They barely escaped 2 consecutive trap games, and against a group that was stronger than those cupcakes, it usually doesn't end well. Can't get bailed out by Josh Allen every damn game, Sean. Even he can look sloppy. And you know what that means? The 72 Dolphins stand alone once again. Pretty early this year. This has to be close to the shortest time frame it's happened. Proving time in Duval for both franchises. Jacksonville's had some close calls, but this is their greatest test so far. The new evil empire. Kansas City's trying to get back to the dance. They're gonna do what they usually do. Steamroll their opposition early and deflate all hope that once existed. 14 straight points as the Jags are jumped in an alleyway. They don't take anything of theirs. Kansas City just does it for sport. May the endless accusations of ref ball fly throughout the night. Chiefs aren't doing anything to deny them either. They just relish in it all with a shit-eating grin. Do they actually get favor? Who the hell knows? All I know is that Duval's always within arm distance. Until the third quarter. Then Trevor Lawrence unleashes the ability that made him a generational prospect. Same as Travis Hunter. KC may be weaker than prime form, but a tie game shows us that the Jags have fights. But this is against standard narratives. And Mahomes is doing his usual thing to get them near the goal line. Well, it was nice knowing you, boys.
On second down. Picked off. Lloyd again. Devin Lloyd. What a year. Still rolling. Down the sideline. One man to beat. Lloyd. Pick 6.
What happened? Oh no, how terrible. That's just...
Now that will put the wind in anyone's sails, especially the rest of the AFC West. With momentum, Jacksonville will... Oh my god, Trevor, what the fuck are you... Wait, that's blatant pass interference on the defense. What the hell are we doing here? Even the announcing crew stunned at the no call. As the Boo Birds fly, the Chiefs score a TD and end the scoring drought. Tie game. The battle continues on for hours on end. Jacksonville and Trevor do enough to get a field goal to retake the lead. But do you know who's manning the guns on the other side? Mahomes does Mahomes things and the Chiefs rip control away. But with a Spagnuolo defense late. Really, Becker? Kicks like that, you can go back to the kitchen. So ball at the 40. This is it, birthday boy. The legacy-defining drives ahead of you. The ability to shut the doubters up or amplify their voices. We just need a calling card. Derek Carr at the smirk. Kirk Cousins at the Gatorade Cup. Trevor fix his nose. Enough charisma to confidently look at the camera while doing it too. Fuck it, let's roll with that. As for the final drive, it happened. Yes, it most certainly happened. Unbelievable feats of might and magic countered by some of the dumbest decisions and awareness you'll ever see. The yin and yang of T-Law, perfectly balanced. Also bailed out by pass interference on the Chiefs in the end zone. The defender's not turning his back, they're calling that nearly every time. Kneel. Now go, Trevor. Ascend to the upper echelon.
Left. Now Lawrence goes down, has to get up. Breaks a tackle. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
This play is the perfect microcosm of Trevor Lawrence's career. Repeated errors, yet flashing the talent that makes you not want to give up on him. Here we see Trevor, so awkward, so clumsy, yet elegant and graceful in his chaos. Like the baby deer taking its first step, stumbling everywhere trying to find its strength. Galloping into the end zone like the drunkard 10 shots of bourbon deep. Mustering the energy to reach his final destination. Pay dirt. By the way, special shout out to Chris Jones for his outstanding efforts on this play. Making John Henry look lazy by comparison. But perhaps he knew the truth. All 3 timeouts, 28 seconds left. Pat does this shit in his sleep. He didn't? Jags won? What a statement by a team that needed it. What a game to piss away if you're Kansas City. So many opportunities flushed down the toilet and the only momentum is in their fans chirping on social media. They aren't getting endless Deus Ex Machina this year? How sad. But for Duval, this is the kind of win that could build into something great. Even for Trevor's enigmatic play. 4-1 and running free. Think a certain somebody smiling up there right now. I miss Huge. Now this locale of the week was surprisingly tough to choose. On one end there's Mark Sanchez, a accosting old men for parking in the wrong spot, getting stabbed in self-defense, and then being arrested in the hospital for it. Way to butt fumble a cushy gig with that bullshit, buddy. But if you want a real butt fumble, Penn State. I love when they're miserable as hell, but this was so pathetic that even I felt bad for their fans. In a make-or-break year, coming off a painful Drew Aller-induced loss to Oregon during a whiteout, they traveled to California and completely shit the bed against UCLA. They didn't just lose to an 0-4 team. They didn't just lose to one with a top 10 ranking for the first time in 40 years. They didn't just lose to a team that fired their head coach after getting walloped by the powerhouse known as New Mexico. They lost to a team that hadn't held the lead all season long. This was James Franklin's magnum opus. The so-called defense getting grilled by this? They can't stop a fucking mobile QB if their lives depended on it. Even in furious comeback, shit was butchered like a prize cow. In the second half, UCLA's talent disparity starts to show. You get ball back and can escape certain doom. Down by 7 with 4th and short and time winding down. With all 3 timeouts? And you're running a fucking RPO sweep? Are you shitting me? You burned all that clock and for what? To see your dreams go up in flames? A check down swing pass with 12 seconds left? Playoffs? You're talking to me about playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? You'd be lucky to play in the Tax Slayer Bowl.
Bring out Jadine! Bring out Jadine! Bring out Jadine!
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Unit lost.
Thanks very much. Right, Joel. See you on Thursday. Right.
And we'll throw it away. Nice catch there. Oh, he's gone. Milano's going to go. He's in row 10. He's in row 15. He might get a beer. Milano, where are you going, man? It's your moment. Milano, row 40, led by Allen. He's going to take it the distance. Maybe it wasn't his seat. Maybe he doesn't want to be on TV. He's gone.